Hi. So today we will be reading chapter 4 of When Stars Are Scattered. So remember, Omar had just been going to school for the first time and he really enjoyed it. Let's read and continue to see if he still enjoys school and how life at the refugee camp is going. Please make sure you make your Edpuzzle full screen by clicking the little button down at the bottom so that you can see all the words. Going to chapter 4. Going to school in a refugee camp isn't the easiest thing in the world. School here is chaotic. There's a lot of yelling and fighting because there are so many kids. It's really hot and it's hard to concentrate. Sometimes kids faint at school because they're so hungry. Sometimes the teachers look like they're going to faint from hunger. After all, most of them are refugees too. If you faint, you kind of just fall over and pass out, kind of like you're asleep. But even though it's loud and crowded and hot, I love it. It's like my brain was starving and now it's getting the food it needs. We learned about things like multiplication and division and spelling, of course. But our teachers also taught us things like how to wash our hands correctly and why kids shouldn't play in piles of trash. Every day after school, as soon as I get home, Hassan and I go out for a long walk. He hates being cooped up all day. He doesn't get to play much with Fatima. I try to tell him that I'm going to school to help him, but I don't think he understands. He just knows that I'm gone. Every night when we eat supper, I'd tell Fatima and Hassan what I learned in school that day. My teacher said some people think it's not important for girls to go to school, but he said that's wrong. You know, when I was a little girl in Somalia, I never went to school. My ears perked up. Fatima hardly ever talked about her life back in Somalia. I lived in a very rural village. The only school was far away, and I had no brothers to protect me. It was very dangerous for a girl to walk all that way by herself. And the girls in my village who did have brothers usually stayed home to do chores while the boys went to school. What do you think this word rural means? I lived in a very rural village. The only school was far away. What was your guess for what rural means? Choose your answer in the Edpuzzle. I was never told that school was important, but maybe Salon is right. Maybe times are changing, and I need to change with them. Everything is different now. Nemo and Miriam are in my class. They seem to like going to school. Oh, I'm surprised Miriam is in school. I heard she is getting married soon. Her father has already found a husband for her. Miriam's getting married? It was weird to think that someone I knew was getting married already. Quiet Miriam, who barely talked at all. I didn't know what to say to that, so I didn't say anything. The next day, I paid more attention to Miriam and the other girls in my class. Some of the girls were talking and joking around, but not Miriam. Her eyes were glued to the teacher. She always got the answer right when the teacher called on her. When it was time for lunch, neither Miriam nor any of the other girls stayed at school. They all hurried off. Why don't the girls stay at school for lunch? Why don't the girls stay at school for lunch, do you think? I don't know. They probably have to go home to prepare lunch for their families. Come on, let's go play soccer. Maybe things haven't changed as much as Fatima thought. I started noticing that when I'd fetch water before school, I'd see some of my classmates there too, but only the girls. When I went for walks with Hassan after school, I'd see other kids watching their siblings too, but only the girls. Besides Nemo and Miriam, none of the girls in my block even went to school. They stayed home to do chores. It didn't seem fair that the girls had to do all the work while their brothers got to play. Since I don't have any sisters and Fatima is so old, I did a lot of the chores at home. Some boys made fun of me for that. Hey, Dante, where's your dress? After a few weeks of doing all the chores, taking care of Hassan, and going to school, I realized how exhausted Nemo and Miriam and the other girls must be. How do they do it? So, what do you think? How is school for Nemo and for Miriam different than school for Omar and Jerry? Write your answer in the chat. Hassan, you have to tell me if you need to use the toilet. Now I have to wash your clothes again. I'll have to fetch more water. Go on, take your clothes off. I'm sorry, Hassan. I'm just so tired. I can't do all this. It's too hard. Hello, Omar. How is school going? That bad, huh? Salon, it's too hard. I have to watch Hassan. I have to do all the cleaning. I have to fetch the water. And everything in school is in English. So I barely understand anything anyway. What's the point of going to school? Maybe I should just give up. Well, I can't help you with your chores, but you do know that I run a private school, yes? Offering English lessons? Why don't you stop by tomorrow after class and we'll see if you can catch you up on your English? How much does that cost? How about you fetch water for my school once a week and we call it even? What I thought was great. More lessons and chores. What I said was, thank you, sir. So maybe I wasn't ready to give up on school just yet. Now, my new schedule was fetch more water early in the morning, go to school, go to after school English lessons, go home to Hassan, who was not happy that I was gone even longer and now had to do chores instead of play, go to bed. After a few weeks, my English was much better, but I was so tired. Are you two studying? Now? The sun's barely up. No rest for the weary. Besides, we have big plans, don't we, Miriam? Yes, indeed, big plans. Nemo obviously wanted me to ask about her big plans, but I was too exhausted. They must really love school if they're studying this early in the morning. But I couldn't help wondering, why was Miriam studying so hard if she was just going to get married soon anyway? What do you think? Why is Miriam studying so hard if she's just getting married? Why do you think she chooses to do that? Write your answer in the Ed puzzle. And that is chapter number 4. I hope you enjoyed it. Once you've answered all of the questions, make sure you mark this Ed puzzle as done. Bye.